Can you take 4 financial tips and turn it into a brand new content empire, a content kingdom? We're going to answer that question here in just a moment. Episode 113 of the Content Profit Show. Good to see you. I missed you last week. We took the week off because we were doing a Content Profit Challenge, who our guest was part of today, who you'll meet in just a minute. And speaking of content challenges, the next one is going to be Monday, December 4th through Thursday, December 7th, a 4-day instead of a 5-day. And here's what it's going to be called: Content Profit Blank Challenge. Okay. I'll be sending out an email either later today or tomorrow asking all of you to fill in the blank. And you can do that here, either live or on the replay. What goes in the blank of Content Profit Blank Challenge? What do you want to learn? And we'll turn that into a challenge. What else is coming up? 11/21, the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. It's a long title, you guys. It's the Thanksgiving Content Profit Feast. Okay. The Thanksgiving Content Profit Feast, in which I'm going to go deep on some things that I've never gone deep on before about why this whole notion of content profit is, you don't hear about it a lot, and why it's so important. Okay. So a couple of things here. Those are the announcements. Something I want to talk with you a little bit about is when you're doing your content, when you're doing it in your marketing, however you're doing it, 2 things you got to remember. Thing one, and this is what people are asking for. Thing one is WIIFM. They're asking, what's in it for me? So you've got to spell that out. Don't ever, ever, ever think, well, they'll just know, because they won't. Okay. So you spell that out. Here's what you're going to get out of it. And then the second one, it's a long radio station, WSIBFY. Why should I buy from you? Okay. Because there's a lot of people doing what you do, just like there's a lot of people doing content like I do. So for my own business, okay, what's in it for me? Somebody's asking. Well, I can help you take any piece of content. I don't care what it is. An email, an article, a video, a checklist, the diagram you draw on a napkin to show somebody something, and turn that into a profitable product. Okay. Why should you buy from me? Well, I'm the only one doing this at this level. Okay. I'm the only one showing you twice a week how to do this, doing challenges around it, and working with private clients to help them build their empire. Okay. So that's just an example of what you got to remember and what you got to do. Okay. Second thing, roadmaps. I'm going to show you one of them now. One of mine, and this is the Content Profit Roadmap. Starts down here with at 1 at content creation, content promotion, content profit. And why do we do this? Because content profit is hard. You want to get it right. We make it easy and simple. There's your template for the day, folks. Blank is hard. You want to get it right. We make it blank. Okay. So content profit is hard. You want to get it right. We make it easy and simple. Okay. So there's content profit. And then 4 is a complicated one. Rinse and repeat. You just do it and you do it and you do it and you do it. Okay. Now I want to show you one of my private clients, Larry Burton. He is the founder of something called the Pandora Path, and it's his whole thing is self-help 2.0. Got his book over here somewhere. It's out of reach though. And what he does is he applies this path to everything he helps people with. So what I want y'all to be thinking about is, what's your path? What's your step-by-step path you can show someone? Because a lot of people come in and go, well, how do I get there? Well, you just got to trust me. No, you got to show a path. Now, this one is all about balance and energy. Wendy, whether you listen to this live or on replay, you'll like this. And I need to hook you guys up. So all the way from identifying the challenge to experiencing greater peace, serenity, and joy. And he's done it nicely here. I mean, he's got a treasure chest at the end, a map, there's all kind of cool ways to do this. All right. So there is So much for you to do in just 6 minutes, and we haven't even gotten to the main event yet, which we're about to do. Okay. I want you to meet my buddy Chris, who was on the Content Profit Challenge and lives in my old neighborhood around DC. And Chris is a interesting version of an accountant. Okay, am I getting that right?
Yes, you are. It's
Okay.
something I've been told is that you don't actually talk like a regular accountant. So
Ooh, fist bump.
sometimes not sure how to take that.
Take it
There you
as a
go.
compliment, because one of the best compliments I got when I was a therapist, a counseling psychologist, is people would say, "You don't talk like a therapist," and I'd be like, "Thank you," because one of the things I never said, except to make fun of it, was, "So how does that make you feel?"
Mm.
But that's what everybody thought. The other thing I would get a lot of is when people found out what I did, they'd say, "Oh, so are you analyzing me right now?" And if depending on my mood, I might say, "Not till right now, pal." And they'd, "What?" So if somebody's saying to you, "You don't talk like an accountant," that means you bring it to people. Okay. And that's what I sent you an email about yesterday from reading your articles. You bring it to people. Okay. An example of why this is so good. Everybody knows who Tony Robbins is, right? Big, tall guy with big teeth. Used to be infomercials. Now he does challenges. Um, there was something that came out in the 70s called NLP, Neuro Linguistic Programming. You know about
Yep.
that. Okay.
I know about that.
And
Yes.
the original authors, Bandler and Grinder, they had these cool looking books. Like there was a dragon on the front of the first one. And then, with some kind of graphic in the background that made you think, oh, I want to learn this mystery. And then you started the book and you kept thinking, it's going to get better. It's going to get better. And it never did, because it was so technical. What a lot of people don't know is that the thing Tony Robbins did is he took NLP and put it in street language,
Mm.
okay, that all of us can relate to. So NLP for him, counseling for me, and now content marketing for me, and accounting for you. I think that's beautiful. It's a good predictor of success. So speaking of articles, let's look at that one that you
Yep.
sent me. Why you need to review your business financials. Now, sometimes I have this thing, I call it my switching screen affliction, but I
Yep.
just looked over there and realized it's not there. So let's get it there. Okay, way to go, Jeff.
There we go.
Usually I get people, commenting and texting me like, "Jeff, we can't see the screen even though you're talking about it." All right. So why you need to review your business financials. Now, what I want you to notice here is how Chris makes this approachable and connectable and doable. Because I mean, for most of us in business, review your business financials. It's like, can I cut the grass instead? I mean, come on, anything but. But you've made it really. You've done a good job here of um, positioning it why it's important, gauging business performance, help you stick to a budget, attracting investors and creditors. You gave me some things to think about in there, um, and then identifying key events and circumstances. And folks, whether you're listening to this live or on the replay, the link to this article is going to be in the show notes, okay, at jeffherring.com/E113. We'll talk about that in a little bit. So, really nice job you do, Chris, with making this approachable and doable. The only thing I would suggest, I mean, it just breaks my heart to see great articles and no call to action. Okay?
Yeah, I it was one of those I posted and I thought, okay, I need to go back and put that in because I do have one where you can set up a call. We call it a right fit call to say, hey, is it worth it to work for us to work together?
I love that. A right
So
fit
one,
call. Cool.
yep. So I've we're going to be going back. Wait, give me half an hour after the show, and then it'll be in there. I'm going to edit
Okay,
this.
good. I'll be checking and we can help with that too. All right. So let's go over to turning this into a product. Remember, folks, we've got 4 suggestions, 4 tips, 4 steps, whatever you want to call them. So 4 chunks. All right. And there she is. And how come it starts off way back at the beginning? I had it positioned. So let's do a fast scroll through the history here, and we'll get to Chris's. Did you learn all that, folks, from all those hundreds of people we've done this with? All right, so Chris's New Content Kingdom. And like I said earlier, I can take anything you give me and turn it into a product. One of the first things I ever sold, Chris, I was doing a lot of speaking down in Florida, and I was at some convention in Tampa. And I'd been giving out to clients lists, like my universal laws lists, on a piece of fancy stationery. Okay. So I printed up about 500 of them and took them down there, selling them for $1. I thought, take a shot. When I got out of giving my talk, there were people having to man the booth because I wasn't there yet. They sold out. And then
Wow.
Thank God I brought a white sheet of paper, just a blank sheet of paper with the universal laws on it, because the promoter grabbed it, went to the business office, and printed 250, and people bought those. And I'm like, wow, I just stumbled onto something here, besides the fun of speaking. All right, so article, blog post, video, or anything really. Then you got to get traffic, both to the content and to your products. Email is still the best, in spite of all the people saying email is dead. It always amuses me, Chris. You get these emails saying that email is dead, even though they sent you an email to tell you email was dead. It's like, okay, cool. Now these are the 4 we did on the challenge: action, article, workbook, one-time small group mastermind, mini course, short-term membership. A membership is, we didn't do that on the course. We may do commit a whole challenge to that coming up. Your stuff, this article can be any of these things, but because of its approachability and its common sense street language, I think it screams for a mini course. And so, do you have any courses right now?
Nope. We're just starting to put them together.
Okay.
And
Good.
looking for ideas on mini courses. So, folks, if you got them, put them in the comments. Say, Chris, I want a mini course on this, so that I don't understand my accountant. Can you translate this into everyday people talk? And then
I love that. Absolutely. Yeah, folks, jump in, make suggestions, whether you're listening live or on the replay. And so each one of those tips in your article, the 4 chunks, becomes a module. Okay. And for this, you know how you've seen those funnel maps, and there's like 87,000 billion steps. And I've seen financial things like that. There's just too many steps. But if you could find a way, this would be cool. If you could find a way to draw each one of those steps on a napkin, and I talk about napkins because this always happens when I go to speak at a internet marketing thing, is somebody will ask me something at dinner, and I'll grab a napkin and draw it out. And, people say you should make a book of napkins. Well, maybe someday. But it would be a great way to present it, okay? Because it makes it so relatable, and then you explain it, in the video. Show the napkin in the video, and then explain it. This is perfect for a checklist, right? To make sure they're getting all the pieces, okay? Because I mean, you've got to have an interesting brain to be able to take this stuff and make it approachable, because I know, and already we've been joking and stuff, and I can tell from your grin, you're not boring, and I've had so many boring accountants. This one guy, he'd sit there talking to you, boring you, but he'd pick his fingers till they bled. I mean, that's how he handled the stress. It's like, okay, I'm finding somebody else. Anyway.
Well, actually, my model on that, you won't believe this, John Madden. If you ever watched him talk about a football game, and he would do the little thing on the screen and just walk through it. And you'll even get a boom from me from time to time.
I was going to say, do you do the booms?
I
he goes around here, and then this guy comes and he goes here and goes, boom, hey. Okay. I love him. My favorite was him and Pat Summerall.
Oh,
man,
yeah.
There's been nothing like that combination since.
Yep.
Okay. So video checklist. for each one of these things, could we create a template for it? Kind of a fill in the blanks?
We could.
Okay. See, that's going to make this so reachable for folks.
Yeah.
And then really for a mini course, that's all you need. The napkin, video, checklist, and a template. And they've got all they need. Okay.
Yep.
Now, this is 4 modules. And you know this from the challenge, but this is for you and for everybody. We're going to make this a 6-module mini course. Okay. And it's approaching course level. What's going to keep it mini is just delivering those 4 things. The napkin is part of the video, the checklist, and the template. And so the first module is going to be the Get Started Here module. And so what's a quick win you could get somebody just by, and this wouldn't even be something you might do live. This would be something they'd get when they bought. Like, what's a quick win you could get them?
A quick win, well, just even that you're sitting down with the financials and looking at them. And I would say approach it like a 3-year-old. Are you asking why? Because you know, and I know you've got, Jeff, I know you've got a grandbaby, and I show 3 years old, he's asking you, why pop up, why pop up, why pop up?
He's already started. He's already started. I love that approach, because when I'm in a situation where I don't understand something, my favorite line is, okay, talk to me like I'm 4.
There you go.
You know, and perfect. So the congratulations and the feel good of doing this and approaching it like a child. I love it. Ask all your why questions. So that's the quick win. Then we're going to do modules 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yeah. And then on the back end, I call it the next success steps module, where you kind of review where you've been. And by this time, whether you're doing this live or recording, people are going to get a really good taste of what it's like to work with you. And they're going to want to continue. And so then you talk about, you know, the next success steps, how we can go further faster. Okay. Here in this map, it might be into a short-term membership, might be into a membership. You could even go backwards here and hook them up with this kind of stuff. Because, you know, a lot of people, when they see this ascension model, think it's linear. It's not. There's some people out there. I remember this when I first started. Somebody had something like this, and people couldn't come in here. They had to start down here. You know, and I'm like, no. People can come in anywhere. Those are all on ramps to your empire, which this really is. Because if you took these 4 things here and did them for every one of your articles, and they all lead to membership, because all roads point to membership, you'd be sitting real pretty. All right, getting a glimpse of what's possible here.
I am.
You got to come up with a really cool name, a different name for a course. My very first course in grad school at FSU was statistics, and I thought, we got to start this way, you know, because I barely made it through the college version.
I had calculus every morning at 8 a.m., 4 days a week. So, God, yeah. I had a great tutor.
I did really good at math until they added the alphabet, and that was and so I walk into this class, and he's handing out the book, and it's a paperback book, and I'm like, okay, this could be different. And the book was called Everything You Ever Wanted to Know About Statistics But Were Afraid to Ask. Playing off the then popular Everything You Want to Know About Sex But Were Afraid to Ask.
Yep.
Guy named Ken Brewer. And I went, this class has fun potential. And the dude made stats fun.
Cool.
I didn't think it was possible, but he did. So, you know, we don't have to do that now. We'll come up with a really cool name. And everything you always want to know, that might not have enough pop, but we'll come up with it. All right. I told you it'd be the fastest 20 minutes you ever did. And here we are. But I want to answer any questions you have about it. How can I help? What kind of questions?
Okay. Well, you had mentioned email. I don't particularly have a big email list. And I am growing my Facebook and LinkedIn following. So could I use that to advertise or what have you?
Okay. Yep. You can promote there. Okay, certainly on those places, but you got to get them back to one of those opt-in pages.
Gotcha.
And those people, you want to get them from LinkedIn, and where was the other place?
Facebook.
Facebook. Yeah, those are two perfect ones for you, especially LinkedIn. Get them from there to your email list. Okay, and so one of the things you can do whenever you post a link to an opt-in, and like over on Medium. One of the things you can do there is there's a way to repurpose the heck out of that article right away. Okay.
Yep.
And one of them is LinkedIn, where you just go over there and I usually capture something out of the article, put it there, put in the right hashtags. And just reminding myself of something I got to do today. And then a link to get more information from you. That will build your list, especially in the financial world. And we can talk about, cool lead magnets, one of which would be this article. Could be a lead magnet, a PDF version. All right. Fantastic. And I got to give Chris props here, folks. He worked through some tough technical stuff to be here. So yay you. That's another predictor of success. All right, folks, as always, when we do these, I recommend you watch it through two lenses. You watch it through the lens of how can I get Jeff? Well, the first one is how can I use what Jeff just did for Chris in my own business? And then two is how can I get Jeff to do for me what he just did for Chris? And that link is right down here, okay, jeffherring.com/profit. That's one of the things I loved about the challenge, Chris, is it filled up into December. We got some in December, folks, but if you want to do this year, today's date is November 7th. You need to do this. All right, Chris, thank you for being a great guest. Thank you for bringing really good content and helping us be great.
Had a great time, Jeff. I do this 20 minutes again.
I like that. I'll be asking for that testimonial later. All right.
You got it.
Thanks, Chris. And folks, until next time in episode 114, your job is to go use this stuff.